Hi everyone, welcome to our first class of Strategic Cost Management, paper number 16 for your CMA final. Now this paper is going to be the last paper of your group 3. So we need to make sure that we are preparing it so well that after giving this exam, we need not worry whether our exams have went well or not. Right? Think about it, yaar. If your last paper has not gone well, you'll keep on thinking about it and you'll not be able to enjoy your holidays. So we need to make sure that we enjoy our holidays, and for that we'll prepare this subject really well. Okay, now if you notice the name of the subject, it's written as Strategic Cost Management. So is it something related to cost which we have studied in CMA Inter? If I have to tell you, then this particular subject is actually related to 3 subjects of your CMA Inter. And they are cost accounting, management accounting, and operations management and strategic management. Their concepts will be taken to advanced level in this particular subject. So am I assuming that you know everything whatever you have studied in CMA Inter for these subjects? Answer is no. I know every one of you. Whenever we give our CMA Inter exams, we forgot everything there itself. Now in CMA final you are starting with scratch. And it's my duty to take you from scratch to mastery in this subject. But for that, you need to follow everything whatever I teach you in the class. Now you will tell me, ma'am, who are you? Why would we follow you? So hi everyone, I am Palak Sharma. I am a qualified CMA with an All India rank in CMA final. With that, I am teaching from around 7 years to the students, and I have an understanding about how to make a topic easier for all of you. So you can rely on me for this subject. And if you have any doubt about how I teach, you can watch this demo lecture to understand that. Now, before directly jumping into the subject, let's just understand the curriculum or approach we are going to take in it. So, your classes will start from 15th of January and we are aiming to complete it by April end. But it can happen that we need some extra days, around 5-6 extra days of your May. So, make sure that you are scheduling everything accordingly. Now, if I talk about how our classes will be, then our classes are in guided recorded format. That means the classes are recorded and guided. Guided means on every Monday to Friday, you'll receive one class which you need to watch on the same day itself, so that there is no backlog and you're completing the classes with me. And as the classes are recorded, if you have any doubt, you can ask it through WhatsApp or the application in which you are going to watch your videos. Or else, if you feel like the application's message or audio which I'm going to send to you, you're not getting an understanding or clarity about your doubt, then we can have a Google Meet one-on-one session where I'll be clearing all your doubts. Now, Monday to Friday will be your classes. Saturday, Sunday will be your revision day where you are revising everything whatever you have studied in the previous week. And if you have any backlog, then you can complete that also in this Saturdays and Sundays. With that, if we feel like there's a discussion required, a collective discussion of all the CMA final students, then we can conduct that as well on these Saturdays and Sundays. Now, after completion of your whole syllabus, we'll have a revision or marathon session for all of you, where we are going to revise in 10 to 12 hours the whole subject which we have studied in around 200 hours. Okay. Now, after completing the revision, I will conduct test for you. We will have 2 mock tests which will be checked by CMA qualified persons who will give you reviews and suggestion about how you can improve yourself. Now these papers will be of 100 marks as institute takes your final paper. In similar pattern, these papers will be made for you. With that, after completion of every chapter, I'll provide you with chapter wise test where the questions and answers will be uploaded in the application itself. You can solve the paper and check the answers whether you have done it correctly or not. Now, if I talk about what all things we are going to cover in this class. So, we are going to cover every material, whatever institute uses for your CMA final SCM subject will be covered in our class. So, ICMAI study material, everything, whether it be theory or any practical, everything will be covered in class itself. Your previous attempt questions, specifically 2016 and 2022 syllabus questions will be covered here. If I feel like the previous syllabus questions are also required, then I'll include that also. So you need not worry whether all the previous questions are there or not. With that, we'll also cover model question papers, workbook. Recently, Institute has introduced workbook for this subject, and we are going to cover that also. If after all of these, I found some relevant questions from other books, then I'm going to include that also in your classes. So you need not worry whether everything will be covered or not. Everything and which can be asked by the institute will be covered in our classes. Now after that, to cover all of these, I will have 2 books for all of you. Now first book is concept book, which will cover theory and practical concepts. And the other one is question bank, which will cover all the questions from every material. With that, for MCQs, you can solve the MCQs in app, or else if you need PDF, we are going to provide MCQs in PDF also. After every chapter, I will be providing you MCQs, but even after all these things, we will also have MCQ session where I am going to cover every question of your MCQs PDF in the MCQ session itself. This MCQ session will be held after your revisions. Now, as we need to solve a lot of questions, as strategic cost management is specifically a practical subject, so we need notebooks. The first one is class notes, where we are going to solve all the practical questions, and the second one is your summary notebook. Now this summary notebook will have all the theory part, all the important concepts and learning from questions. Even after solving a long practical question, we feel that something different we have learned from this question, we are going to write in this summary book. Now this summary book is made specifically for your one day before examination revision. Or else if you want to revise anytime, you can use this summary book. This is going to be really helpful for all of you. Now as we are going to revise from these books a lot of times, so we need to make sure that they look good. And for that, we are going to use different colored pen, red, black, blue and a yellow highlighter, so that we can make sure our notes are looking good and we are able to revise with them again and again. Now this was all about your curriculum. Let's talk about what all chapters are covered in your SCM subject. So we have total 15 chapters in this subject, which are divided into 2 sections. Section number A is related to strategic cost management for decision making, and section B is quantitative techniques in decision making. First section covers 5 chapters, but it has total 60% of weightage. And the section B covers total 10 chapters, but it has only 40% weightage. The reason is section A covers this particular chapter, chapter number 3, which actually has 25 to 30% weightage in your exam. So we need to make sure that we are preparing this chapter specifically really well. But can we focus or can we study in a way where we are giving more importance to one chapter and less importance to the other one? Answer is no. If you notice, Institute keeps on changing the weightages. So Institute study material says that this particular chapter will be asked for 25%, but this chapter was asked in your exams for 30%. And the same happens with other chapters also. So we need to make sure that we are preparing every chapter really well, so that if Institute changes the pattern, we need not worry because we are prepared well for the exams. Now, if you notice, these 5 chapters are specifically related to cost accounting and management accounting. The first one is introduction. Second is quality cost. Both of these chapters are theory, but the third chapter, decision making, covers cost, volume, profit analysis, marginal costing, relevant costing, transfer pricing. These are the topics which we have studied in cost accounting and management accounting. With that, this chapter covers more new topics for all of you. Product life cycle costing, asset life cycle costing, target costing, using probability for making decisions. So a lot of new topics you will be understanding here. And for the topics which you have already studied, a lot of advanced questions you are going to see in this particular chapter. So it's going to be really interesting chapter and a scoring chapter also for all of you. And the next one is activity-based management, which is somewhat related to your activity-based costing, which you have studied in management accounting. Evaluating performance is related to standard costing and variance analysis. Now, if I talk about section number B, Then specific topics which you have studied in OMSM and CMA Inter are linear programming, transportation, assignment, simulation, port, time series and regression analysis. So a lot of connection is there of this subject with your OMSM subject also of CMA Inter. Right. With that, we are going to study some new chapters also like game theory, maxima, minima, how to use data analytics for your decision making. So these are all the chapters which we are going to cover in this particular subject. Now, the paper pattern, if I talk about, the paper pattern is going to be same, exactly same as it was in your CMA Inter. You'll have a complete paper of 128 marks, out of which you need to answer 100 marks questions. 30 marks will be MCQs, 15 MCQs will be asked, 2 marks each, no reason required, and they are compulsory to be solved. But these 98 marks is for long answer questions. Total 7 questions will be asked to you. Each question will be of 14 marks, out of which only 5 you need to answer. So 5 questions of 40 marks, that is equal to 70, and 30, the total marks which you need to answer is 100. So similar pattern is there what it was in your CMA Inter. Now let's finally start with our first chapter, that is Strategic Cost Management Introduction. Now as we are studying, or the whole subject's name is Strategic Cost Management, then we should understand that what this actually means. Let's first focus on the word strategic. You need not write anything for now. Whenever there is a need for writing, I'll specifically tell it to you. Okay? For now, just understand what does strategic means. Strategic is something related to strategy. So here we are talking about cost management. Strategic cost management. That means cost management is related to strategy. Now what does this strategy means? Strategy in Hindi is known as Rananiti. Now Ran means war, Niti means thinking or approach behind that war. So strategy is what approach you are going to take to win the war. So winning the war, think about it. If India and China are having a war, so what India wants? India wants to win the war. That is the final or the end goal which we want from the war, right? Now this end goal is known as vision. So India's vision is to win the war, and this is known as our end goal or vision of India. Now, to have this war, we need to make different choices or decisions, like where we are going to have this war, what approach we are going to take, how to exploit our enemies' weaknesses, what all enemies' weaknesses are and how we can exploit that. We need to make different choices and decisions. Now, these set of choices and decisions make our strategy. So strategy is the direction or the choices we are taking to reach our final goal, that is winning the war. Now, just by making strategy, do you think that you can win the war? Answer is no. We need to execute our strategy. And to execute our strategy, we need to follow our plans. We need to make plan about how we will be executing the strategy. Let's assume that we found out what are the weaknesses of enemy. And we know how we can exploit it. But how this particular choice or decision will be practically executed, for that we will make a plan, an action plan. So plans are specific actions which are taken to execute the strategy. Okay. So what we have studied, vision is the final or the end goal. To achieve this vision, we make strategies. Strategies are a set of choices. Now to execute this strategy, we make plans. Done. Now, we are talking, till now we have talked about how strategy works in war. But why we are studying about how strategy works in war? Are we going to have a war? Answer is no. We to talk about businesses, right? So, this strategy is made for war, but similar or war-like situations occur in businesses also. Because think about it here, war has enemies. Businesses has competitors which is not lesser than enemies. Because every business want to win over competitors. And in every war, the parties want to win over their enemies, right? Similarly, war happens in the battlefield and businesses happen in the market. Wars have prize, something like land or victory, Similarly, businesses have customers as the price. So we customers are the price of the businesses winning over each other. And why are we the price of the business? Think about it. Whatever business, any business which has a lot of customers is going to earn a lot of profit. And that is why businesses fight with each other for having more and more customers at their side. Now, to understand how businesses use strategy, let's take an example of Netflix. Netflix started in late 1990s. If I talk about specific year, then it started in 1997. Netflix was not like as it is now. You can watch Netflix anytime using internet, whatever you want to. But the thing is, at that time, there was very weak internet. The internet was used only for opening websites, sending emails. Even to load a single image, it could take minutes. So to watch the whole movie using internet was not at all possible at that time because no online streaming facility was available at that time. So if any customer wants to watch movie, then they can watch it through television or rented DVDs. There was a company known as Blockbuster, which was the market leader at that time for renting DVDs. It had thousands of DVD rental stores worldwide. So if I want to watch any movie, then I can go to this store, take the DVD on rent. Let's say if I have taken the DVD on rent for 4 days, then I have to pay the rent for 4 days. But if I'm returning the DVD after 6 days, so I have taken the DVD for 2 extra days, right? For this 2 extra days, I need to pay the late fees. So this was the model with which Blockbuster was working. At this time, Netflix started. Now think about it, if Netflix will also go with the stores, then it might not work better than the Blockbuster because it is already leading the market. So it would be very hard for Netflix to go above this Blockbuster. So what Netflix thought is, we will be providing the movies through rent to the customers, but our vision is something different than what Blockbuster's vision is. Our vision is to make the people watch whatever they want, whenever they want, from home. Now think about it. To get the DVDs from Blockbuster, you need to go to their stores. But Netflix said that for us, if you want the DVDs from us, then you need not go anywhere. We'll provide it to your home. Now, how is it possible? So Netflix used the technology, that is internet. Though internet was weak, but it is actually available for opening websites or sending emails, right? Netflix used it. Netflix made their own website. And if any customer wants to watch a movie, then they can go to the website, book a particular movie, send an email to Netflix about that movie, and Netflix will send the DVD to you through post at your home. So you need not go anywhere. You can order the movies online and they'll reach to you by post. Now think about it. It was not happening at that time. No one was doing that. Netflix was the first one who did this. Now you are getting your movies at home. Now think as a customer, right? If you get any movie at your home, the DVD is posted or provided to you at your home. Will you be the one who is going to return? Answer is no. You will keep it because Netflix can't come again to take your DVDs, right? So you will keep it. Netflix knows this, okay? So keeping this in mind, what Netflix thought is, you can keep the DVD till the time you want to. Means there is no late fees, no due date. Whatever the time you want to return it, you can return it. But if you want the next DVD or the next movie, then you have to return the previous one, then only you will get the next movie. So it has put a certain condition on you that if you want the next movie, then you need to pay or you need to return the previous movie. Now think about it, yaar. Getting the movie is easy. You will get it by post at your home. But when you are returning the DVD back to Netflix, then you need to pay the postage. You need to go to post office, post it, get an envelope for the same. It will be complicated for you. And Netflix has thought about that also. What they do is, in the envelope in which they are sending you DVD, they send one more envelope to you, which is return envelope. which is already paid. You just need to put your DVD on it and put it on the post office, and your DVD will reach to Netflix, and whenever Netflix get the DVD, it will send you the next DVD which you have added on the list. So this was the approach with which Netflix was working at that time. And I think it's pretty unique and innovative as compared to what was happening at that time. Now, if you notice, to make this happen, Netflix took different choices. Like they'll not open physical stores, they'll rent DVD online, delivering DVD by post, with return sleeve, no due date or late fees. These were the different choices which Netflix made. And these linked choices, if you notice, all the choices are linked with each other. If there is no physical store, then how we will provide the DVDs to the customer? Through renting DVDs online. And how they will get the DVD at home? By post. And it can happen that the customer can keep the DVD for a longer period of time. So they made sure that they will not charge any due date. There will be no due date or late fees. But if you want the next DVD or the next movie you want to watch, then you need to return the previous DVD. So these are the different linked choices which Netflix took. And this is what strategy is. Linked choices. These linked choices. No need to write for now. Just listen to me. These linked choices together make strategy of Netflix. So, what things we have understood till now? Vision is the end goal, and it is written as statement. Like if you notice, Netflix has stated its vision as we want to make people watch whatever they want, whenever they want, from home. And this is written as statement. But is strategy a statement? Answer is no. Strategy is made up of different choices which will help us to reach our end goal, that is our vision. Now, with time market changed, right? With time online streaming was possible, and as the market and environment changed, online streaming came into picture, and the end goal of Netflix remained same. Netflix end goal was what? To provide the customer with whatever they want, whenever they want, from home, right? So Netflix end goal remained same, but the market changed now. So are we able to provide the customers whatever they want, whenever they want, from DVDs? Answer is no, because when online streaming came, customer itself will not rely on the DVD. They themselves will want that we want to watch movies online. We don't want to wait for the DVDs to come from post, right? And Netflix, though its vision was same, it changed its choices according to market, and these choices made strategy which helped to achieve our vision. So now what choices are Netflix made? So they shifted from DVD rentals to online streaming, used algorithm for personalized recommendations. So all the data, think about it, when they were in DVD rentals, they were providing these DVDs through website, right? So they got a lot of data that what people like to watch. They use this data in online streaming to provide personalized recommendation to our customers. Now with that, when they got to understand that what genre of movie the customers are watching, then they used it to introduce their own original content, which was like the films or series, original movies or series which Netflix introduced, like the Stranger Things. It is the original Netflix series. Now, how Netflix got to know that we will like that particular series? The reason is they have a lot of data about what customers watch. They use that to make the other or another series or movies. After that, they decided that why to limit ourselves to English only. We can go globally by using different languages. So they made different choices which together made their strategy and helped them to achieve their vision. So what we have understood that these linked choices together makes Netflix strategy to achieve its vision. That is our end goal. But think about it. Do we want to achieve our vision just for a specific period of time? Answer is no. Companies want to achieve their vision continuously. They want to sustain their vision. And to sustain their vision, they need to attain competitive advantage and to have superior financial return. Think about it. If you are Netflix, you are providing the customers through customers the DVD at home. This is also fulfilling the vision, right? Even if the customer is getting it a little late, but the vision is getting fulfilled that customers are able to watch whatever they want whenever they want from home. But the thing is, when competitors are going for online streaming, customers slowly will shift from Netflix to the other competitors. And Netflix knows this, that if we want to achieve our vision again and again, continuously, then we need to be above our competitors. We need to have competitive advantage. Then only customers will rely on us. Customer will help us to achieve our vision. Right? Now think about it. If a company is above competitors, does that mean that they earn a lot of money? Answer is no. So strategy is made keeping in mind that we need to be above competitors and we need to earn a lot of money, a lot of financial returns over and above what our competitors earn. Now why this is required to achieve vision? Because to sustain the vision, to keep on working towards vision, we need money. We need that we should be above our competitors so that we can grab more customers. And for that, to keep the vision sustained, strategy makes linked choices which help us to achieve our vision. And with that, strategy also helps us to gain competitive advantage, to earn superior financial return so that we can continue fulfilling our vision. Okay, so strategy is linked choices, and to keep on working towards vision, strategy aims to position ourselves in an industry. Position ourselves in an industry means keeping yourself above competitors, making your own position in the market in the eyes of customers and above the competitors, so that we can achieve competitive advantage and we can earn superior financial return so that we can continue working towards our vision. So what we have understood till now about strategy, that strategy is integrated set of choices which positions a firm in an industry to generate superior financial return in the long run. Now why we want this? So that we can continue working towards our vision again and again. Okay, so this was strategy, the first word of strategic cost management. Now open your summary book and write the name of the chapter. Everything, whatever we study related to theory, we are going to write in our summary book only. So write the name of the chapter. Chapter 1, Introduction to Strategic Cost Management. The first thing which we have studied in this chapter is what strategic means. Strategic is something related to strategy. Now what does strategy means? Strategy is Rananiti. Ran means war. Niti means thinking or approach behind the war. Then we understood that what vision means. Vision is the end goal. Example for war, winning the war is the end goal, right? Then to achieve this vision, we make strategy. Strategy is linked choices to achieve the end goal. Then to execute this strategy, we make plans. So plans are made to decide actions to be taken to execute strategy. Done. Now, after this, we understood the definition of strategy, which is important from exam point of view. Definition of strategy. So strategy is an integrated set of choices. Strategy is nothing but linked choices together are known as strategy. Integrated set of choices. For actions. Now what does this for action means? For action means choices. These choices which we are making tells us what actions we need to take, what actions we are not going to take. And why these actions we are taking? To position ourselves in industry. For actions, which positions a firm in an industry. So we have taken integrated set of choices to decide what actions to take, what actions not to take, so that we can position ourselves in an industry. Why to position ourselves in an industry? So that we can achieve competitive advantage, long-term competitive advantage. We don't want to get a competitive advantage for short term. Think about it. If you want to get a short-term advantage, you can reduce your price. But when you reduce your price, the competitor can also reduce the price. So this is only possible for short period of time. You can't get this competitive advantage for long term. For long term, you need to work on different things like making your product premium or unique or innovative so that competitor can't make the same type of product, right? So to achieve long term competitive advantage, we are taking this integrated set of choices. Why we want long-term competitive advantage? Because we want to grab more customers. And when we have more customers, we are able to achieve our vision. But vision needs one more thing, and that is money. So, we also need superior financial returns to keep on working towards our vision. This definition you should remember, and that is why I had explained it in a very deeper manner. So strategy is integrated set of choices for actions, that what actions we should take and what actions we should not take, which positions a firm in an industry to achieve long-term competitive advantage and superior financial returns. Done? This is what strategy is. Now why this strategy is made? Now how strategy helps us achieve superior financial return or long-term competitive advantage? So strategy helps us match our firm's capability with the available opportunities. So write it down. I'll explain what does this mean. Just write it down for now. Strategy matches firm's capabilities with available opportunities. Let's take an example to understand this. Indigo is an airline business, right? What are the capabilities of Indigo? Indigo is efficient enough. It can do lot faster, lot efficiently a particular work as compared to that of competitors. And that is why their airline services are very low cost as compared to that of competitors. So what is the capability of Indigo? Indigo is having efficient operations. And to perform these operations, it incurs lower cost. Now this is the capability of Indigo. If you notice, there is market for premium airline services. And there is market for affordable airline service. Is Indigo with low cost and efficient operation is aiming to grab this premium market? Answer is no. Their aim is to grab those customers which wants to have affordable travel, right? Because it is able to make the cost as low or lower than the competitors, it is able to grab the market of affordable customers, which its competitors will not be able to do because they are not as efficient as lower cost operation as compared to that of Indigo, right? So what Indigo is grabbing, Indigo is having these capabilities and it saw the opportunity that people want to have affordable travel in India, affordable air travel. And what Indigo did is it matched its its capabilities with the available opportunity of affordable travel customers. So growing demand for affordable travel is the available opportunity, and Indigo matched both of them, its capability of efficient operation and lower cost with the growing demand of affordable travel. Similarly, this was the situation of affordable. Similarly, can we have capability of premium products and can we provide it to the customers and charge premium? Is it possible? Answer is yes, because market is available for both the type of customers. You can go for the affordable customers, but for that you need to have your efficient operations and lower cost. Your core focus or your capabilities should be efficient operation and lower cost if you want to grab the affordable market. But if you are focusing on the designs, innovation, then you can grab those premium market, the customers which are ready to pay the premium for innovative and unique designs, right? For this, let's take an example of Apple. Apple doesn't focus on becoming only efficient at operations or at lower cost. Apple's main focus is great design, or the main capability is having a great design of the product, innovations and brand loyalty. If a customer buys their product, they stick to it, they don't leave it because the products are very unique, innovative and great at design as compared to other competitors. Now, this is the capability of Apple. What is the opportunity available? People are ready to pay extra if they get innovative, unique products, distinctive products as compared to what other competitors are providing. So, people willing to pay extra premium. All of these you need to write, okay? We are writing everything in our summary book. People willing to pay extra premium for user friendly tech. So, what Apple did? Apple matched its capability with the available opportunity, which matches their capability, which is something related to what capability they has. Done? Now, if you notice, the strategy which Indigo used is focusing on affordable or lower cost products. The strategy which Apple used was to focus on premium market by providing distinctive products. Now, this is the two different types of strategy which businesses can use. So, write it down. Strategy. Businesses can either focus on cost leadership or they can focus on becoming a product differentiator. Cost leadership. That means similar to that of Indigo, we are focusing on providing the product at as cheap as possible and becoming cost efficient, producing or providing those services at lower cost as compared to that of competitors. That is our main aim when we are focusing on cost leadership strategy. Cheapest and most efficient products or services. The other type of strategy is product differentiation strategy, where you focus on providing unique products and you charge premium for the same. Unique and premium. So Apple used product differentiation strategy, while Indigo was using cost leadership strategy. Now, why companies make this strategy? To achieve their two aims, that is superior financial return and to achieve competitive advantage, right? So write it down. Strategy aims to achieve advantage over competitor. Or the other thing what we want is to grab more and more customers, because we can, through more and more customers, we can earn superior financial return as compared to competitors. Only being higher than competitor doesn't make you earn more money. And that is why we have to be above competitor and we need to grab or create value for the customer so that we can earn superior financial returns. Create value for customers, because if you create value for customers, they will pay you for the same, and if they will pay you, then you will be able to earn superior financial returns over competitors. Done. So this was all about strategy. What we have learned till now: strategy is integrated set of choices which positions a firm in an industry to earn superior financial return and gain long-term competitive advantage. Strategy aims to match firm's capability with available opportunities, like we see in the Indigo and Apple's example. Strategy can be of two types for businesses. They can become either the cost leader or product differentiator. Think about it, you can't be both together, right? You need to be either focus on becoming cheapest or most efficient, or either you can focus on becoming unique and premium. Because if you want to become unique and premium, you can't reduce your cost. You need to incur a lot of cost to become that unique, premium, quality, make that quality products. Okay. Strategy aims to achieve two things, that is superior financial return and competitive advantage. Advantage over competitor, and to get those superior financial return, you need to create value for customers. Done. This was all about strategy. Now we are moving towards our next word. So next word is cost. So what does cost means? Cost means the money spent or the expense we have done, right? But that the meaning of cost, where we think cost as only expense, is not taken in strategic cost management. Strategic cost management thinks about cost in a way that how cost impacts our long-term strategy. How cost is able to provide us a long-term advantage over competitors. Okay, so write it down and then we'll take one example to understand this in a better way. Cost refers to the total resources sacrificed across the value chain. Now, what does value chain means? Value chain means the activities we perform from getting the raw material to providing the final product to the customer. A lot of activities happens in between, and these activities are known as value chain activities. Refers to the total resource sacrificed across the value chain to achieve long-term competitive advantage. I'll explain you this in a deeper manner, but for now just understand that value chain activity, when we say now, we mean that from getting the raw material to providing the product to the customer, what all activities are there where value is added, that is known as value chain activity. Okay, we will understand about the difference between value chain activity and supply chain in our upcoming classes, but for now you just understand that value chain activities are the activities which are used to make the product or to provide the product to the customer, and only those activities are considered which adds value for the customer. Done? Now, refers to total resource sacrifice. Cost means the resources you sacrifice to achieve long-term competitive advantage. That means only cost will not be treated as an expense. Cost will be treated as an expense which helps us achieve long-term competitive advantage. Okay. So whenever you are incurring cost, just don't think about it as an expense. Whenever we think about cost as an expense, we try to reduce it. But when we think about cost as a long-term impact creator, as a long-term strategic resource, then we think about it on the basis of how it is helping us in the long term. Let's take an example of raw material. Let's assume I am considering raw material cost as an expense only. Then I'll try to reduce it. For now, I am incurring 1000 rupees per kg for raw material, and I found out that one of the supplier is providing the same raw material at 500 per kg. I'll take that. Even if the quality is not good, I'll take the same because my aim is to reduce the cost when I'm thinking of cost as an expense. But when I think cost as a strategic resource, then we'll think that raw material cost is higher. Is fine because it helps our labor to make the product efficiently and faster. Our machines are able to work faster. There is less rework, less wastage, less scrap, and the final product is quality product. When I see that this particular activity's cost is helping the other value chain activities in incurring lower cost, why I am able to see that? Because I am thinking about this cost as a strategic resource, not only as an expense. So, strategic cost management says, don't see cost as only as an expense. See cost as how advantageous it is to achieve your long-term strategy. Done. Now let's focus on the last word, that is management. So strategic we have understood, cost we have understood. Now we are focusing on the last word, management. What does management means? Management is actually a process of planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Now how this process is used here? So write it down. Management means planning. In strategic cost management, what you will plan? You will plan the cost, that how much cost we can incur. Then we will organize that cost. We will divide that cost between different departments and different centers so that each center will be responsible for specific amount of cost. Let's assume we have planned that raw material cost can be at max go to 10,000 rupees. Now we will divide it between different centers. Let's assume department A can have 5,000, B can have 3,000 and C can have 2,000 cost. Now why we are dividing this cost between different departments? So that each department can be made responsible for this amount of cost. If they incur higher than this, then that particular department will be held responsible. After that, we will also have employees will do staffing the employees or getting the employees and getting them trained so that they can focus on becoming cost efficient. But keeping in mind that cost efficiency doesn't mean reducing cost. It means focusing on cost and thinking about it on the basis of what long-term impact it creates. Now, planning, organizing, staffing, directing. We have trained the employees about how they can become cost efficient, keeping in mind the long-term impact. But we need to keep on guiding them again and again. It's not like you have trained them and they will do all the things right. You need to keep on guiding them to become cost efficient keeping in mind the long-term impact. Now, after that, we need to control the cost also. You have planned everything. You need to check whether your actual is matching with plan or not, where all you are deviating. So this is done under controlling so that we can improve ourselves in the next period. Like for this time, our plans and actual doesn't match. We have incurred higher cost as compared to what we have planned. Then we can find out the reasons why this cost is higher and how we can reduce this. And we do the same in controlling. So management means planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Why this is used in strategic cost management? So that we can do this management process for cost. Now, our aim under management is not just to reduce the cost, to see its long-term impact on our strategic issues, right? So write it down. We need to manage cost in alignment with firm's long-term strategy and competitive advantage. Not merely reducing cost. So we are following this management process on cost, not merely to reduce cost, but to gain a long-term advantage, but to fulfill our long-term strategy and gain competitive advantage. Done. Now, so we have till now understand what does strategy, cost and management separately means. Now let's take them all together and understand what all of them together means. So think about it. Strategic cost management together. What does it mean? It means managing cost, keeping in mind the strategies. And that is what the definition is all about. Write it down. Now this definition is important. Strategic cost management refers to cost management that specifically focuses on strategic issues. So we need to manage our cost, but keeping in mind our strategic issues. Now what strategic issues are? So we have understood that organizations can take two types of strategies. Either they can become product differentiator or they can become cost leader. Now, if you focus on becoming cost leader, then what is your issue? To reduce the cost, to increase your productivity, to increase your efficiency. But when you are focusing on becoming a product differentiator, then your main aim is to how to make the product distinctive from that of customers, that of competitors, and how much premium price I can charge for my distinctive or different products, right? So write it down. This is the two strategic issues which organization faces. First, if you are a cost leader, then you will face about how you can reduce company's cost, increase productivity or efficiency, and gain advantage of them relative to competitors. So, what we have written, the company's cost, productivity or efficiency advantage relative to competitors. How we can reduce our cost, become more productive, become more efficient as compared to that of our competitors. Next, this is the first aim of our companies. And the second, if you are becoming a cost leader, then your aim is, or your strategic issues is, how to or how much extra premium I can charge for my distinctive products or services. The premium price a company can charge over its cost for distinctive products or services. As my products are different from that of competitors, how much extra price I can charge for the same. This is the second strategic issue. Company will face either of the one, because company can have either of the one strategy only. They can either become cost leader or become product differentiator. If they are product differentiator, then premium price is the strategic issue. And if they are cost leader, then cost, productivity and efficiency is the strategic issue. Now, strategy gives us direction to achieve our vision. What strategic cost management does? So write it down. Strategy provides direction and strategic. Cost management. Why we are managing cost? So that it can help strategy. How it will help strategy? By providing cost-based insights, tools and information. Cost related information, cost related tools will be provided by strategic cost management, which will be used by strategy. Where strategy will use strategic cost management? In every stage of its life. When you are choosing strategy, you will use strategic cost management, because that is the one who will give the data about what choices are good for you, what actions you should take and what you should not take. Who will tell that? Strategic cost management will give data for the same. To choose, to implement, to communicate and control. So strategy follows 4 stages in its life. Strategy is first chosen, then it is communicated to everyone in the organization. After communication, it is implemented, actually followed, and then we need to control the strategy. For all the process of the strategy, you need strategic cost management, because in every stage, you will need cost-based insights, tools and information which will be provided by strategic cost management. So in every stage of strategy, strategic cost management is useful. Now, let's just see what all stages are there in strategic cost management. We have understood that first choosing, then communication, then implementation and control. These are the steps or stages. But how SCM helps in these stages for strategy, let's just understand that. Strategic cost management may be divided into 4 stages. We understood that these stages are for strategy. But in these stages of strategy, strategic cost management is helping everywhere, right? That is why these stages can be known as stages of strategy or stages of strategic cost management. Now, the first stage is formulation or choosing the strategy. Now, what is strategy? We have understood that strategy is made up of linked choices. That means when we are formulating strategy, either we are deciding will become cost leader or product differentiator. But after deciding what you will do, you need to make different choices, right? Accordingly. And that different choices will be decided by SCM. SCM will provide data for making those choices. Like let's assume, first choice is you can outsource your production. Or the second one is you can make it in-house. You need to choose between them, right? That is why it is known as choices. Choices means choosing between 2 or more than 2 options. So, strategic cost management will provide data to choose between different possible options which we have. Now, after formulating the strategy, after deciding that what choice we will take to accomplish our end goal, we will communicate that strategy to everyone in the organization. Now think about it. Let's take an example of Netflix to get a better understanding about it. We understood that Netflix made a choice of going from DVD to online streaming when online streaming came, right? So this was my strategy. Now after choosing this strategy, it will be communicated to each and everyone in the organization. But think about it. What everyone will do by knowing this? We have told in the whole organization that we are shifting from DVD to online streaming. Now they can feel proud about it that our organization is going from DVD to online streaming now. But what else they can do with this? For this information to be useful for every organization or person in the every department or person in the organization, we need to tell them what specific thing they need to do. Like we are shifting from DVD to online streaming, but every department should have some target for the same. We need to tell all the departments that what specific thing you need to do so that this information becomes useful for them. And this is the way we communicate our information. And for that, we need SCM again, so that the whole strategy can be divided into measurable cost targets and reports, so every department understands that what their goal is to achieve this strategy. Now, after making the strategy and communicating it to every department, Now we need to implement it. And before implementing the strategy, you need to make plans. You remember? First we decide vision and then we make strategy. We have divided the strategy between different departments. Now to execute the strategy, we need plan. So implementation is putting the strategy into action. To put the strategy into action, we need resources. We need to allocate resources to every department. We need to make a plan so that we can control and monitor whether everything is happening as per plan or not. Make sure daily operations support the chosen strategy. We need to make a plan such that daily operation is working towards the strategy. Now, after making the plan and implementing it, starting following it actually, we need to control it also. Now, how control will happen? When you compare plan and actual, find out the deviation between them or differences between them. Now you can control it, right? Now you can think about it whether why this particular deviation happened. What all suggestive action, corrective actions we can take for the same. Okay? So this is what controlling does. First, formulating the strategy. For this, SCM provides data to make choices. Second, communicating the strategy. For this, SCM provides the cost measurable target for each department so that the strategy becomes useful or becomes the target for every department in their specific area. Then we implement the strategy with the help of plan, and then we control the strategy, check whether plan and actual is matching or not. If there is any deviation, then we take corrective action. And this is what stages of strategic cost management is all about. Now open your summary book and write it down. Stages of strategic cost management. We have 4 stages. See, the details of it which I explained to you, right, is not actually required in the exam. It's just for your understanding that how stages of strategy is actually stages of strategic cost management also, because this is the one who is helping strategy in every stage of its life. Okay, so you just need to remember the name of it, what all stages are there. First one is formulation. Next is communication. Next, implementation. And last one is control. Now, let me just show you your book, because the details of stages of strategic management is already given in your book. No need to write it down in your summary book, because we are making summary book from exam point of view, and exam needs only the name of the stages, and that is why this whole thing we have not written in our summary book. Okay, everything whatever you have understood till now, everything is mentioned in your book. Even the example of Netflix is already there in the book, so need not worry whether everything details where we will find out, because in summary though we are writing very less. No need to worry. If you want to go deeper, you can refer the book. Book contains every concept which we are going to study in class. Now if you notice, the book has this boxes which covers all the important points, like the SCM definition which we have understood, that it specifically focuses on strategic issue. First one is related to cost and the second one is premium prices, right? Similarly, you will find different boxes here. All the boxes contain all the important points. Here also you will find some highlighted boxes. These all highlighted boxes are important for you. And with that, anything else which is important is written in brown color. So you can refer them while revising, or if you want to study in detail, you can refer this book. And I want review from all of you, how much you like the book when you receive it. Okay, whenever you receive the book, just tell me how was your experience with the book, so that we can improve it from the next attempt. Now, this was all about stages of strategic cost management. Now we are moving forward to process of strategic cost management. To formulate a particular strategy or to make a specific choice, we use a specific process under strategic cost management. This process involves 6 steps. The first one is identifying. Just write it down for now. I'll explain you with example that how this process works. Identifying, accumulating, measure, analyze, interpret, and report. Let's start with the first step of the process, that is identifying. Think about it. Whenever you are making choices means you have more than two options and you need to select one of the option. First, you need to find out what all options you have, and then you need to find out that in every option what is the relevant cost. So write it down. Finding options available and their relevant cost. So find out what all options are available with you and their cost, what all cost is incurred in them, what all relevant cost is there in them, so that you can select between all the options which one is better for you. Okay, so let's just take an example to understand this. Let's assume that we have two options. First one is outsource production. First one is outsource production. Second one is produce in-house. You have two options. If you outsource, that means giving production to the outside person. You are not producing the product, you are giving it to someone else to produce it for you. Then what cost will be there? The person to whom you are giving this particular product to produce will charge some price, and that will be the only cost which will be relevant for this situation. If you are producing the product yourself, then you need to check what is the price of the material you are using to make this product, what is the labor charges we are incurring, what is the machine operation charges we are incurring. So all of these are relevant costs for in-house. Now think about it. If I already have a machine, even if I go for in-house production, I'll incur depreciation. And even if I outsource the production, this machine is there in my organization, so depreciation is going to be incurred. So the cost which is going to be same in all the options is considered as irrelevant cost. The cost which is different between different options is considered as relevant cost. Similarly, if some cost has already been incurred, that cost is considered as irrelevant cost because that is not gonna change. The cost which is not gonna change in two different options is considered as irrelevant. So only relevant cost will be considered. Now, after finding out options, we will accumulate the cost. That means collecting cost data from various sources. Like we have decided that we'll take in-house situation, we'll take material cost. So where you will find all the material cost? You will find it from invoices. If you want to collect all the labor cost, then you need to check the payroll of the labor. Right? Similarly, if you want to know the supplier's price, then you need to ask the supplier and get it collected. So you will collect all the prices or all the cost of different options. Now after collecting the cost, we'll measure the total cost. Like we have collected all the invoices. Now we'll total all of them and find out that total material cost is how much. This means quantifying cost. Quantifying cost in money and in quantity. Money means total amount which is incurred for a particular activity or resource, and the quantity which we have incurred for the same. Let's assume in material we have used 10,000 units. So 10,000 units is the quantity and the total amount we spent is 1 lakh. That is the money. Both of them will be found out in measuring. Now after measuring the cost, We know that in all the options, total amount, what is the total amount which has been incurred? Because everyone is collected, everyone's total amount is already calculated. Now we can total and compare both the situations. And that is what analyzing does. In analyzing, let's take an example that we have calculated the cost of outsourcing production or doing it in-house. If we outsource the production, then our cost is 550 rupees per unit. And if we make the product in-house, then let's assume our cost is 600 rupees per unit. Now, if we see it like that, then what is the most beneficial option for us? That is outsourcing production. But when you are analyzing the cost, right, you just need not make the total of it or get it on the basis of per unit. You need to analyze it on the basis of behavior, that how the cost actually behaves. Like, is the whole cost we have incurred for outsourcing or in-house is completely variable, or is it fixed or semi-variable also? We need to find that out, because if that is variable, then we can decide that outsourced production is the best option. But the thing is, if some cost of it is fixed, some is semi-variable, some is variable, then we need to bifurcate this cost between fixed, variable and semi-variable, and then find out that for how much units outsourcing is better and for how much units in-house is better. Done. After cost behavior analysis, we'll also do value chain analysis. Value chain analysis means incurring higher cost in particular area, does it benefit the other activities of the organization or other activities of the value chain? Like we took the example of raw material, right? That if we incur higher raw material cost, then the labor cost is lower, then the machine cost is lower, rework, scrap and waste is lower. So we need to analyze each and every cost, that what impact it creates on the value chain. Done. So after analyzing all the cost, we will interpret the results or draw conclusion. That is finding the result. What will be the result? If we have two options, then we'll select the one. Making a choice is interpreting result. Now, after interpreting the result, you found out that which choice is better for you. Let's assume our outsourced production is actually lower cost, and this is completely variable. That means is 550 is lower than 600 per unit, and this is beneficial for us. So we have found out the result. Now after finding out the result, we'll report that result to the managers. Result presented through report. But the result will not only contain the final result. That is, the report will not only contain the final result, that is outsourcing production, but with that it will also contain all the process which you have followed for finding out what is the best option. Okay, so result presented in the report with details, that how you reach to that particular result, that also you need to present it to management so that they can understand why this particular option you are saying is the best one for the organization. Done. So this is the process we follow under strategic cost management. It can be remembered as EAMER. I, that is identifying, A, accumulate, M, measure, A, analyze, I, interpret, and R, report. Done. Now, these processes followed to make a choice, and then we make a report for the same. Now, the strategic cost management's report or the result is beneficial for whom? Who uses these results? These results are used by both the parties, that is internal and external users. Internal users means managers and employees will use the information of strategic cost management for making decisions, for making strategies, right? And the external users will use it indirectly. How indirectly? If you are using SCM, then it leads to lower cost, increases profitabilities, tells about long-term success of the organization, and all of these information is useful for the external users also. Who are the external users? External users means people who are not in the company. Like managers and employees are the one who are in the company and working for the same. But creditors are external people. Government is external people. Lenders, bank, all of these are external people, but they also want to know how company is performing. And for that, they use SCM information like profitability, cost, and long-term success. And for all of these, they'll depend on financial statement, but financial statement will get all of these information from the strategic cost management. Done? Write it down. Now this process which we are following is actually a continuous process. We'll keep on following the same to make different choices, right? It's not gonna stop. It will keep on continuing whenever you are making a particular choice. Now, this information is useful for whom? Both the internal and external users. Internal users meaning whom we are talking about. We are talking about management and employees. And external users are creditors, investors, and government. Now, why they will use SCM information? For strategies or decision making. And external users will use this information to assess organization efficiency. How efficient organization is, organization's profitability and long-term success. Done. So this process and this usefulness is actually contained in a definition of SCM. So let's just write it down. What is the definition which talks about this process? Now this is something important. SCM may be stated as the process of identifying, accumulating, measuring, analyzing, interpreting, reporting cost information and लिख लेंगे यहाँ पे and reporting cost information. Now why we are following this process? To give useful information to whom? Internal and external group. Useful to both internal and external group. Now why this particular process is actually followed? Concerned with the way in which organization utilizes its resources to achieve strategic objective. We follow this process so that we can know whether we are utilizing our resources to achieve strategic objective or not. We are selecting the correct option as per the long-term strategy or not. Okay, done. Now after this, we are moving forward to our last topic of today's class, and that is need of strategic cost management. Let me just add it here. Or else we can do it directly from the book. So, the need for strategic cost management. Why strategic cost management is needed? Because it is an updated form of cost analysis. Earlier, we used to think about cost as an expense. But now, with the help of strategic cost management, we are thinking cost as a strategic resource. How it is going to impact us in long term. We are thinking of it like that. See, SCM goes beyond calculating cost. It links cost with business strategy. It thinks about cost as what long-term impact it is creating on us. So, for an example, if a smartphone company uses expensive processor increasing phone performance and brand image, If we were using traditional costing, then we would not use this expensive processor. We would have gone for some cheap processor. But as we are using strategic cost management, then we decide that higher cost is acceptable because this supports our premium strategy so that we can provide premium products to our customer. Done. So this is an updated form of cost analysis which analyzes cost on the basis of what benefit it is providing to our strategies made. If we are cost leader, is it providing that benefit of getting a lower cost and efficient product? If we are product differentiator, is it providing some innovative or quality products? We'll think about cost in the same manner. Now, identifying cost relationship in the value chain. How one activity is connected with other activities of the value chain is having higher expense in one activity is actually helping the other activities of the value chain. We'll think about the cost in this way. For example, if raw material cost is high because we are spending on it due to quality raw material, then machine breakdowns will be low, rework will be low, warranty claim will be low, and hence lower overall cost. So we have thought about a particular cost not only on the basis of it, but on the basis of what impact it creates on the whole activity or on the whole value chain. So SCM studies how cost of one activity affect other activities. Developing strategy for competitive advantage. What strategy we will follow? Will aim for cost leadership or product differentiation. What all choices we will make will decide on the basis of this strategic cost management. Strategic cost management gives data for deciding whether we will be cost based or differentiation based to stay ahead of competitors. Now, understanding overall cost structure. With the help of strategic cost management, you can understand what all cost we are incurring and what is the cost which is actually creating a huge impact on us. Let's assume we have found out that on making a calculator, the production cost is actually really low, but the logistic to transport the calculator from one place to another, the cost is very high as compared to the production cost. Logistic cost is very high. So we found out that where we should focus on. We should focus on reducing the logistic cost and not on the production cost. So it gives us an overall cost structure to understand that what is the main thing where we should focus on. Now, supporting strategic cost management process. So we have already seen that the strategic management process which contains 4 stages. SCM helps in all the stages, that is formulation, communication, implementation and control. And this is what is all about the need of strategic cost management. It is needed because it is an updated form of cost analysis. It identifies cost relationship in the value chain. It helps us to develop strategies for competitive advantage. It explains us the overall cost structure. It provides support for the strategic cost management process. Done. Now open your summary book and write about the need of strategic cost management. Why we need SCM? Because it is an updated form of cost analysis. Better than the traditional one which thinks about cost as an expense only. Next, cost relationship in the value chain. It explains the cost relationship in the value chain. Like how activities are connected and how cost of one activity impacts another. Now, next, developing strategy for competitive advantage. It helps us to develop the strategy, whether we will go for cost leadership or product differentiation, and accordingly what all choices we should make. Developing strategies for competitive advantage. Next, understanding overall cost structure. It helps us to understand the cost structure so that we can decide where should we focus on. And the last one, supports strategic management process. What is the strategic management process? It contains formulation, communication, implementation, and control. Done. So this was all the gyan, all the information which I have to share today with you. Now in the next class, we'll continue this particular chapter because a lot of more things are there which we need to understand. What is value chain? What is supply chain? How to get our cost under control? How to reduce cost continuously? What is innovation? What is value analysis? What is value engineering? A lot of things are there in this particular chapter which we are going to continue in the next class. But before ending this class, let me just show you something which makes me really proud. And I want to share it with all of you because I think that this can also help you to become motivated to study really hard in your CMA final papers. So this is me standing for the convocation as I have got a rank in CMA final. So in our institute, we have a convocation for all the AIRs. So this was the first convocation after COVID. Now when I'm saying after COVID, don't think that I'm a home-based person who has given her exams in home-based. My exams was center-based in computer. Think about it, how much complicated it was. And I'm happy that after my exams, the institute has shifted to offline writing in paper because that is the most great thing which can happen to us. Because think about it, in my time, what I used to do is, in my exams of CMA final, we have to solve the answer in paper and the final answer we were writing in the computer. Think about it. That means no step marking like we used to get in our exams. Right? For step marking, they have written all the questions separately, but for that also you need to get the correct answer for all the steps. For theory, you need to type all the answer using keyboard. It was very complicated. But after all the complication, I got ranked, so I am happy. So what happened in the convocation day is, see, I have not seen this proud moment before. I got the result, I got the rank. But my parents didn't show me like they were a lot happy, very proud of me that I got a rank when I told them. But that moment I got to see in this convocation day. So as this was after COVID, the first convocation, so around thousands of AIs are sitting for getting convocated. Think about it, thousands of people. And as our attempt was last, so we were the last one to get the certificate or medal. We were sitting from 8 a.m. in the morning and I got convocated around 8 p.m. in the evening. Think about it. We are sitting from 12 hours doing nothing, seeing everyone get the convocation certificate or medal. Now my parents also came to, because it was a proud moment for all of them, for all of us, for me also. So all of them came, my parents, my father, mother and my younger brother also came. He irritated everyone because from the morning he's sitting till the end. 12 hours he's sitting there and he's doing nothing. So he was very irritated everyone. And at that time, as we were the last one, so we got convocated last. So the whole auditorium is empty now. Only 10 to 15 students whose rank is remaining are there. And their parents are there. And the whole auditorium is empty because whoever gets their certificate or medal is going because nothing is happening here. Everyone is only getting convocated, right? So the whole auditorium is empty. My mom is sitting at the end of the auditorium. And let me just show you. I'm going to get my medal in front, right? But I'm seeing there. See. And smiling a lot. They have to call me again, move forward, but I'm seeing there. Why it happened? Because my mom, who's sitting at the last of the seat, she stand out and she clapped so loud that the whole auditorium was echoing. Think about it. So the whole auditorium is empty. Only some of the people are sitting. And my mom is standing there and clapping so loudly that the whole auditorium is echoing now. I was so glad to see that. And I'm like, this is the proud moment I wanted. And that is why I had put so much efforts in my CMA final. And with that, my father is the one who is recording this video. So he's recording with a great smile, recording the whole movement. I was like, this was so surreal for me. I can't explain you. I felt so proud. I felt so happy seeing them feel proud. I was like, I'm ready to put these efforts again and again to get to see this moment. So this is the moment for which you have to put your efforts. To see your parents feel proud of you. To say them, you have done a great job, beta. It feels so surreal. It feels so good that you'll put a lot of efforts again and again to see that moment. Now think about it, yaar. You are giving your CMA final exams. You need to clear it. You will clear it because at the last of the stage, you're not going to lose or you're not going to leave CMA. You have to complete it. Now, if we have to complete it, let's put our full efforts in it. Why to leave a single coin unturned? Let's put our full efforts in this particular CMA final so that we can also score and rank. We can also make our parents proud. And why only 39? You can also score All India rank 1 so that I and your parents can feel proud of you. And you feel that this is the moment for which I'm studying and I'll study again and again or do great things in my life so that I can make my parents proud again and again. So are you ready to put your wholehearted effort for this particular CMA final? Are you ready? Just tell me in the WhatsApp. After enrollment, you'll get my WhatsApp number. You have to write the rank which you are aiming for, the number, total marks which you are aiming for, and the marks which you want in SCM subject. Remember that aim should be as high as possible because even if you don't hit the moon, you will at least hit the star and that will also be good enough. For me, I always wanted to get All India rank 1, 2, 3. But I was happy enough to get All India rank 39 also. So even if I don't hit the moon, I was able to hit the star and I was happy. And in the same manner, you also make your goals higher, as high as possible, and just aim for it and make it achievable for you. So be consistent in the class and do classes on time so that you will be able to complete the classes and give your CMA final in a great manner so that you can also score a rank, a marks, much better than me, much better than anyone else. All the very best. Radhe Radhe. Bye-bye everyone. We'll meet in the next class.